Welcome everybody to today's live stream. Madden 23 is now out. It is the EA early access period, and this is officially the first day of Madden 23 content. Welcome everybody. If you are watching this after the live stream, I'll try to have some timestamps down below if you want to go find a certain part of the video. We're going to be checking out franchise mode mainly. I'm not an ultimate team player, so if you're looking for that, you are unfortunately lost. But we should have some fun today checking out how the game plays, what's new in franchise, and kind of enjoying the first day, you know? Like, the first week is always excited, just kind of getting used to things, and I am ready to go. What's going on, everybody? Chat filling up here. We are on a 10-hour clock with the EA Early Access trial, so I don't want to waste a whole lot of time. I want to get into some action here straight away, and I was really interested in checking out the skill-based passing they have now in the game. I forgot about that. I'm all about the features in franchise, and that's what's on my mind. But as far as the skill-based passing, that kind of completely went over my head. The trial is available, yes. So I'm on the PS5 right now. I have it on my Series X as well for 10 hours when I run out of this time. Look on your store, whatever console you're on, and hopefully it's easy to find. Sometimes when it's first out, it's a little tough to actually get the screen to pop up that allows you to download, but you should be able to get there. So yeah, I think I want to go actually, like, first thing in the skills trainer is I want to check out, I think I want to check out the skill-based passing and kind of get used to that. Do we know the team for franchise yet? No, I haven't narrowed down. I'm going to be planning on doing 2 series, and I need 2 teams, and I have 6 candidates right now. And I think I know one for sure. The other one, perhaps. Yep, the game is out in the US. You don't got to change your country to New Zealand or anything. It is just simply available. Main franchise coming back. That is the plan. I do want to play some I do want to play franchise on the main channel again and get that going. Is this where... Okay, this is like the gauntlet and all that stuff here. Basic offense. I really wanted to try the passing. All the different ways to pass the ball. That might be what I'm looking for. Let's see. When you get into the game, it asks you what kind of passing you want to play with, but I didn't really get into it because all I wanted to do was make sure I had my 10 hours for doing what I wanted to do here live and making content. So this is the PlayStation 5 version of Madden 23. Looks like they're not really showing me the new mechanics here. Just kind of simple throws, whatever. Yeah, I'll do a top rebuilds team. I will, or a top rebuilds video. I always enjoy doing that. It's in the settings where you change the difficulty. Okay, I'll check it out there and see if it lets me play with it. Can I play if I pre-order? I think this is only EA access. EA Play. They make it really confusing. So there are like so many release days for the game and everything. Like, it's just a mess. But you can play right now. Where can I try? Because this is where you choose what kind of passing you want. And I want to try the placement and accuracy. And there are a lot of little things with that. I don't have any initial impressions yet. I have not been watching anybody else play. I haven't played the beta. I haven't played a game myself yet. I'm going in pretty fresh without a whole lot of influence at this point. Yeah, maybe practice mode, no defense is the way to go if I just want to get a feel for that passing. Because that skills trainer wasn't really doing it. Let's go offense only here. Kellen Mond or Bailey Zappi? Ooh. I don't know. Mondo looked a lot better yesterday than I expected him to look. All right, so you see that little meter there. This is the new skill-based passing they have in here, and I don't know if I'm going to be using it, because you know when I'm playing, I want it to be ratings-based and franchise, so this kind of seems like the type of thing I would probably turn off. I totally get it for competitive play and being online and trying to maximize everything out of your players, but I'm a franchise guy, so I don't really care about that as much. There is an option, I think, to toggle it on for just power. It is kind of like having a 2K shot meter. My first impression here is that I'm probably not going to be using it, honestly. But I did want to check it out. Placement and accuracy. There is a placement option. So this one gives you a little more control over the strength of the pass, apparently. Let's see what that one's all about. All right, so what happens if I just, like, if I don't hold it quite as long? Well, it just... I'm trying to hold it for less. Obviously, just lob pass there. These are practice jerseys, actually. Yes, that is true. Yeah, Cousins has the red uniform on, and then everybody else has a more basic practice uniform. That's not something I've seen before. It's just going to good accuracy every time, unless I tap it. I don't know. Maybe this isn't the best place to check it out. But yes, I am looking to do a main channel franchise this year, and as long as the game, you know, is in good shape, we don't have a ton of bugs to worry about. Like, if I'm waiting on so many things to be patched for franchise to be playable, that's what would slow me down. So what I want to do is get into franchise mode to test some things, because play now is not really the way to go. You can get in there and play a regular exhibition game, but franchise always plays a little bit differently, so I don't even mess with play now, because I know it's just not going to be as useful for the information. So I want to go right into franchise, and we'll go with an online franchise right now. Offline was busted last year, so I need to test if offline franchise actually works. I had a series on my second channel that after about 6, 7, 8 seasons, the file would no longer load. It wasn't corrupted, it just wouldn't load. And I had to end the series, and that's not okay to happen when I'm planning on a series helping carry the channel for a long time. So, you know, I might have to go back to online franchise. I don't prefer it, but it did pretty well for me last year. So I'm going to... What's a good week 1 matchup? Because I would kind of like to play as the Chargers. Rams and Bills is week 1. Chargers play the Raiders. So those are both really good options. I'll start off here playing as the Chargers. And let's start this in week... Oh, I meant to start in week 1. I screwed it up. So this is what the main home of franchise looks this year. The interface, I think, is much better than what it was a year ago. It's still laid out similarly, but the font choices and the graphics are all laid out so much nicer. So that's something I noticed when they were showing off the franchise news. You still have your news feed here. It seems they're kind of phasing this out a little bit. Like, it's really easy to just kind of miss all this stuff. Like, look at the news. It's just a bunch of headlines and not a whole lot there. The whole social media feed is just kind of thrown aside. So that's given less of a focus. Got your top performers, schedule. Any possibility you will do an expansion franchise, toasted. That has been very much on my mind lately, because I love the idea of doing an expansion franchise. There are just a couple issues there The main thing is that I couldn't do an expansion team and have them begin play in 2022 because this game does not have a created team function. I want to start another one where I get where I start in week 1. I'm just being particular right now. So that's the problem. Wait a minute. Is it going to let me start in week 1 if I want to? Pick your week, preseason week 1. Maybe that's what I'm forced in to do so. It shouldn't be blurry at all. Check your gear icon. I stream in 1080p. So let's just advance to the regular season then. There are a lot of things I want to get around to testing and everything, but we're going to start off by just getting some games in right away. I always start every year. All-Pro. How does it play? Every year I'm let down because our All-Pro is just not challenging enough, doesn't feel quite right, and then All Madden is obviously a difficulty that I'm just not all that fond of, but I have to play on it. Let's see, is there anything else in here that we haven't really seen before? Trade types, coach firing, CPU only, salary cap, abilities, all that stuff. What gameplay sliders are you normally most concerned about? The big thing is like pass coverage and making sure that's balanced, and then the trenches. And there aren't a lot of sliders for you to really mess around with. Prospect storylines, okay. Full on field control. The gameplay sliders are the exact same, and they've been the same now for 8+ seasons. I turn off the X factors, just playoff ratings only. That's what I did in my last big franchise on the channel, because if I had abilities on, we'd have guys breaking the sack record all the time. So here you see sliders all the exact same. And then penalties look to be all... This is different. Illegal contact. A point of emphasis in the NFL. Anybody watch that Vikings-Raiders game? My God, they couldn't stop calling illegal contact. But, yeah, looks like that's in the game now. I don't think that's been in the game before. I don't have any franchise team reveals. That's going to be in a video. You know I'm going to make content out of that when the day comes. So we're here week 1, playing as the Chargers right now. You have your season goal. This is kind of what we're used to. You know, how many wins. This is the exact same as always. We have opening day keys, so they'll speak to the media here. Hire and assign scouts, upgrading players. Is there auto strafe this year? I'd have to check out the settings, JT. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't messed with scouting yet. But that's right, player motivations, player tags. So players are going to have different motivations that determine how likely they are to, or how interested they are in joining your team in free agency. And the tags are also kind of interesting, and we'll see which ones ultimately pop up here. But we have a star receiver, a veteran receiver, Keenan Allen. 88 speed, really good route running. Health, this is all the same as last year. Does progressive fatigue work? That's something else I have to check out. Motivations. He wants to have a place somewhere with no income tax. I guess California would not be the best fit for him then. Justin Herbert, franchise quarterback. That gives him a boost there. And he wants the Super Bowl chase. And you'll notice, like, the playoff contender status of the Chargers is making the most impact. Herbert has impact, but it's not like it's all even. They're both positive, but one has more weight than the other. And then no player tags at the moment for him. Let's see. Let's go to Bosa. I want to see if any of those player tags pop up. A lot of these face scans look really good. There's Joey. No player tags for him, and the Chargers are a pretty good fit. I did not have to change the time, AJ. You can just go on the store and find the game. No problem. It seemed to be a universal launch with the files and everything. I appreciate that, Greg. Hoping, I'm just streaming a bunch today, tomorrow, and then, I'm taking all this gameplay and I will make it an impressions video and kind of give more organized thoughts on where I think the game is. Just making sure my recording is all set up here, because all this gameplay is going to be used in that video. Somebody wanted to see free agency. That is a good point, because you want to see if the CPU teams are cutting players they shouldn't. Who's available? You got AJ Green here. You got some veterans that didn't make rosters. AJ Green, Emmanuel Sanders, Raheem Mostert, Mercedes Lewis. I actually think that oftentimes makes sense. Don't cut the 4th round rookie, but sometimes it does make sense to let the veteran players go if they're not going to make a serious impact. Do you enable X Factor abilities in your slow sim franchises? I do, John. I leave all that on. I think it's fine there. But when it comes to my traditional, like I'm playing the games type of franchise, then I'm not sure, but I didn't on Madden 20. There are some abilities I just don't like, and I really don't want to see like overpowered like pass rush. Like I was getting huge sack totals without abilities. If I had them on, the record would be going way down. I wanted to see something quick, so I saw like Jamal Williams was released, for instance, from the Lions. What did they end up doing then at running back? They kept Justin Jackson, and they have Jermar Jefferson. So they cut a veteran, 27-year-old Jamal Williams in this case. AJ Green was released from the Cardinals. So I'm just trying to get a feel for the logic and why they're doing certain things. Like, instead of cutting Andy Isabella, they released AJ Green. Which, AJ Green better than Andy Isabella. I can totally understand cutting veterans. I'm just trying to understand the logic, because those aren't normal decisions that the game typically makes. What does the trade target tag mean? Yeah, let's go back. I was just looking at Lions running backs, and it looked like Justin Jackson had that on. Let's see what those are. Player will be added to the trade block, so he's a trade target. I'm not sure what makes him a trade target, if it's just being a 75 overall lower on the depth chart. If you make him the starter, does that tag go away? I don't know. And then you have certain tags like this. First of all, Amon-Ra St. Brown has it, and so does the rookie they just drafted. Will be placed above similarly rated players on the depth chart. So that's actually interesting that it's there for a player not in his rookie season, because you could easily have players rated higher than him. So I hope it stays on there for a while, giving him a chance to truly develop and play. So in this case, Amon-Ra St. Brown has that day one starter tag. And I like that addition. It makes sure that those guys are going to get playing time. Jameson Williams as well. So if there was like a veteran here at 78, they would get priority. And that's just one of those things that Madden's never gotten quite right. And this is hopefully a way to get it right. Randall Cobb has a mentorship and bridge player tag here. So interesting. If starting, team will look to draft their replacement. So I think the Packers would still be looking for wide receivers if he is good enough to start for them. Future starters will be placed ahead of this player on the depth chart, but he is a mentor, so teams are more interested during free agency, and he boosts weekly training for other players at the position. I really like that. I like what they're doing with this whole tag and motivation system in this first implementation. So that's great. Yeah, let's get to weekly strategy, actually. Let's just take a look. I'm sure it's similar or the same. Defensive assist, because I know it's been broken the last couple of Maddens. Oh, I know what you're talking about, JT, and as soon as we're in, I will check that out. I appreciate the super chats, but I know exactly what you're talking about. So this looks to be all the same. You choose what your emphasis is on defense and offense, and then you will go through a simulated practice, and there can be injuries there. You'll have your goals for the week, your focus players, and let's start training. What's your opinion on mac and cheese? Mac and cheese is a very special dish because it is both a meal. It can be a meal or a side. And I don't think a lot of foods fall into that category. And so that would place mac and cheese very high in my food power rankings. You got player fatigue going down. Potential injuries in practice. I don't know if... Austin Eckler, quad strain. Looks like I won't get to use him in the first game. Who eats mac and cheese as a meal? This guy does on occasion. Is play tendencies new? No. So that data has been in the game. You have your hire and assigning of scouts. We will check out scouting after we play a game. It's been a while, so why don't we get into a matchup? Yep, this will be a video after, Gary. It will be. All the streams I do end up as videos on the channel, so you can catch up with anything you need. Got the Brandon Staley playbook, and here we go. Finally, first game, Madden 23. It's going to be Raiders and Chargers. And there's the SoFi intro. I mean, I'd like more than 2 or 3 seconds there. Somebody had to model that, you know? All right, you got Carr and Devontae. I kind of like this. We haven't really seen a lot of this pregame presentation in the recent Maddens, so this is nice. I like that. I'm going to let everything play out to the kickoff. Yeah, I do not know exactly what is left out on last gen, unfortunately. Raiders and Chargers. I imagine, again, we will be skipping the coin toss. What a bizarre decision. I hope tags don't get messed up in future seasons, and that's something we're going to be checking out, Sam. I want to be doing, you know, I want to sim multiple years and see, okay, how are things playing out? What do I have to kind of expect as I get into a real franchise? So we're going to be testing out things like progressive fatigue and seeing if there's anything strange going on there, what teams are doing in the draft. And we're going to be simulating some off seasons and just seeing how teams are constructing themselves. That's a weird sim score down below. 13-3. Bills over the Rams with Case Keenum starting for the Bills. We'll check out simulation stats. All that stuff. Ooh, what's this little fancy camera? My main issue is I want a story. I don't care about gameplay as much. I want to have a story be told almost as good as real life from draft to play. You do need a good story, that's for sure. Appreciate the super chat. You want to have a franchise that can organically create its own storylines, and you want CPU teams to challenge you and build their team in the right way and then play the game the right way at the same time. Yes, Jacob, I am planning to do a franchise like that this year. I know it's been a while since I started one. But that is the hope as Isaiah Spiller gets the start in this game. And he doesn't get much on that first play. Heading to the air. Oh, I got that power on. I guess I'll leave it on for now, but I really don't think I'm going to end up playing with it. I'm fine with ratings doing the work. Yeah, we haven't seen referees in Madden for a really long time, unfortunately. I was just playing Madden 12. And just seeing referees in there making rulings and stuff, it was like, why did they leave again? Why doesn't your member link work? The join button should work, I would imagine. Yep, there will be a CPU franchise. Looking to do the 2 franchises this year. What's interesting, though, is I haven't really done one. I haven't been playing games traditionally on Madden 21 or Madden 22 Next Gen. So this is like the first year I'm really getting into playing like this and not just watching games. So I haven't really gotten the same feel for this gameplay like a lot of you probably have. I've only played a handful of games as we get Keenan Allen involved. Nope, Rocky's series isn't done. No. But if I can get a franchise going on the main channel, it will impact the posting of it. And I've talked about that a little bit. I'll talk about it more when the time comes. But at this point, I'm still looking to get a new season up and running there as we get Gerald Everett to the 18. Over 1,000 of you in chat here, day 1 of Madden. I appreciate it. If you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button. And also, please leave a like on the stream. That's very helpful. I plan to stream today and throughout the week. I'm not sure how many videos there will be. You know, I went back to see what do I normally do when Madden comes out, and there really aren't a lot of videos. If I don't have a series going, I don't have a lot of content to make. So if I don't have much, I will be streaming and working towards getting a new franchise started up. Yep, so far, passing, not too difficult here on All-Pro. I appreciate you becoming a member, Flem. Newest member on the channel as Isaiah Spiller into the end zone. Oh, I like that. I really like that. So there's a bump this year to presentation, I'd say. That the pregame was a step forward. I like that little touchdown graphic. They did some different camera things on the kickoff, so that's a bit better. Graphically, game looks really good too. That definitely stands out to me. One thing I might do in my franchise on the main channel this year is slow sim all the user kicks. Like, I really want it to be more rating based. So to let the CPU handle the kicks, I think would be one option. Because I've always wanted series where the kickers actually mattered and it wasn't just me with the meter. I finally have that in my UTSA Dynasty, but I've never had that in Madden. Yeah, kicking is the same, and I imagine it's still as automatic as ever. So I think it would be nice to maybe slow sim those kicks and bring in a little drama. That's the only thing I'd be slow simming. Let's play some defense, and we're about to find out if that that assist is an option here. Keep in mind I'm on All-Pro. It might be an option that's available on All-Pro, but not All Madden. That'll be a separate test. Why does Herbert still have the generic quarterback voice? I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention to the cadence and stuff. Yeah, I'm holding L1 there. Is that a real fumble? I was holding L1 there, and it's just running him right into the line. So I think you still have to do some sort of usering on defense. I don't want to do any usering on defense. I want it to be the play call and the player ratings. But apparently now I'm going to have to do something there. Wow, I kept the ball. Got it there, Keenan Allen. Appreciate the super chat, Ian. What are your thoughts on franchise this year? Well, the news seemed somewhat promising. There were some things I liked, but I just now am getting my hands on it for the first time. So I haven't tried scouting yet. We're going to do that after this game against the Raiders. And I want to see the free agency and how that goes. So we're going to be doing that stuff in this stream. Just getting a game in right now as Isaiah Spiller's got his second touchdown. Is the 360 cuts and meter when passing on current gen? If you're asking if it's on the PS4 and Xbox One, I don't believe so. But I'm not 100% on that. But I'm pretty sure those features would be only on PS5 and Series X. What's your opinion on the momentum bar in this game? I like the idea of momentum, but I'm not really a huge fan of the way they've implemented it. I feel like what I would prefer would, well, I mean, there are some momentum, they call them M factors, that make some sense. But to me, what do I want momentum to capture when I'm playing? I want there to be maybe an element of awareness that's impacted. You know, like if a team doesn't have momentum on their side, maybe they're a bit more penalty prone or just mistake prone in general. Maybe more likely to drop. This is where you get into risky territory, but like maybe a little more likely to miss a throw or drop a pass. You don't want it to get out of control, but that feeling of momentum being on a team's side. Maybe they're more likely to make a difficult play, for instance. Spectacular catch could go up. I just think there are more ways they could have done it. And so far, All-Pro ain't looking like anything more than a cakewalk like it's pretty much always been. Yeah, I don't want to do too much slow simulating because ultimately I want it to feel like a regular game of Madden on this channel. And I like being able to, you know, make adjustments here at the line if I need to. And keep in mind, slow simulation takes away my game planning, my play calling, and it leaves it up to my playbook. Now, I create my game plans, so that could be taken care of, but I don't want to cross over too much that style onto the main channel. I don't think that's what people there want to see. Been a fan since the Chargers franchise in Madden 17. What is your favorite receiver all time in your series? For me, it's either Shepard or Gabe Ventura. Favorite receiver all time in my series? Hard to not take Reggie Shepard. He's one of the best I've ever drafted on the main channel for sure. A lot of great options on the second channel. It's a little bit different when you're playing with them like this as opposed to the slow sim. There's Mike Williams. Will old gen have the new free agency? I believe they would. Can't quote me on that, but I believe it would have that. When is the UTSA offseason episode? So this is opening week of Madden. I'm focused on Madden for the week. So I wouldn't expect a whole lot else until maybe next week. I have a recap video to put together for UTSA. I have another video I actually recorded for the main channel that I'll just have to edit and get up where I went through my original franchise files from the Vikings, Raiders, and Rams franchises back on Madden 12, 13, and 25. I recorded that yesterday. I thought I would post it today, but then early access became available, and I wasn't expecting it. The game is available right now through EA Play's early access trial for 10 hours, so I got 10 hours to play here on the PS5, and I have it already downloaded onto my Xbox Series X as well, so I'll have 10 hours on there when I run out here. So, if you have Xbox Game Pass, EA Play is included, and you can then play the trial. If you're on PlayStation, it's $5 a month. I doubt I'll be playing Face of the Franchise. I'm just not really interested in the whole like scripted story thing. It's just never been anything that appealed to me. And I'm not expecting it to be, you know, it's just never been as good as Road to Glory to me in Madden. It's just never been there. You don't got to change your Xbox location. I have it on my Series X, and I didn't change a thing. I might even go online to play some games just because, you know, like the CPU here is getting destroyed, and I'm sure if I played on all Madden, then it would probably be me getting destroyed, or just games that wouldn't look as good. So I might go online in some of these streams and do some head-to-head. I know how to do RPO. Gameplay fluidity feels pretty good. I like the animations and stuff, but all-pro CPU here, you got to step your game up. The CPU is not putting up any fight at all. Give me that. So we're going to blow out the Raiders, it looks like, in this game before we get on to the scouting. Maybe I'll do some shoe clock. But it's important for me to check this out and get a feel for it. I haven't done enough to really see what I think of the CPU zone defense. I've kind of just been picking them apart underneath. That's good to see you, Rams House. Yeah, I'll give all Madden a chance too. This is just kind of like a yearly tradition for me. Every year I'm hoping All Pro is better, and so it's the first thing I play every year. It never is. But this has been what I do every year for over 15 years. And normally it's with the Vikings. This is like the first time in a long time my first game wasn't with the Vikings in franchise. Here's Carr. Man coverage looking a little stickier. He had one receiver get open, didn't find him. So yeah, if I have to user in my franchise, I'll just be controlling D linemen. I don't user cover. You know, I want the coverage ratings of my players to matter. I want all the ratings to matter as much as I can. Knocked away. But I'm not going to be in user coverage trying to make user picks or sitting on certain routes. Just not going to happen. There's Carr to Devontae. I want to see that again. Watch as he makes this catch. Like that animation there. He goes from catching the ball up there. That's where I want the game to get a lot more fluid. Like that's not like a natural deal there. He's got it there with two hands. All of a sudden it's a one-handed catch. His body starts to twist a little bit. That's the animation stuff in Madden that just has aged horribly. What MLB team are you a fan of other than the Twins? I don't really have another team I cheer for. I suppose, like, I like seeing the Padres and the Rockies do well, because historically they haven't. But I'm not really a fan of any other team. I'm hardly a fan of the Twins these days, man. I'm still watching them when I can, almost every day, but it's just been a rough few months. They're not a good team. The Twins are not going to the playoffs this year, by the way. They just can't do it. 28 seconds left to go. Carr, end zone. One-handed by Adams at the 1. There's a catch I don't think I've seen before. How does this pocket form? Nothing out of the ordinary there. And then Adams, the one-handed snag. Try being a Timberwolves fan. Yeah, I gave that up years ago. I mean, they're actually pretty good now, but I mean, like, they lost an entire generation, I think, being awful for 15 years. Touchdown, Devontae. "21 seconds to go in this first half." What? The Eagles are sending J.J. Arcega-Whiteside to the Seahawks for Ugo Amadi? What a random trade. I don't think anything of that trade. That sounds a lot like, remember when the 49ers and the Chiefs swapped first round or early round bust receivers, A.J. Jenkins for John Baldwin? That's the kind of energy I get from that. So he makes this catch, running one way. See, this is an area where it's like, how physics-based is the game actually getting? Because his momentum is going all this way, and then he runs into a player, and all of a sudden his momentum is going the other way. The physics in that collision just don't make any sense. He starts animating the opposite way he was arriving at the collision. And breaks a tackle the opposite way. When they talk about the physics and everything, I know it's not what I want it to be. Some of the physics in the running game so far that I've seen have looked decent, but I know it's not going to be like Backbreaker's Euphoria engine. It's just not on a game that releases on a yearly basis. Oh, no. Can we get there, Trey Pipkins? That's my first interception of the game in Madden 23. I was trying to hit that comeback route. Let's watch that again here. I was trying to hit the comeback. Takes a long time to develop. So, trying to throw out of the sack. It's a wobbler. Play the interception music. He threw a pick six to end the first half, and the Raiders are back in the game. All right, halftime. Hey, that graphic is the same. We still have the font, like the Nike Spark looking graphic there on the half recap. So now they're showing you the scores around the league a little bit. I still think NCAA did it better with their updates. After you'd have a scoring drive in your game, it would show you an update for another game. Yeah, what happened in that one? All right. I'm letting it play out just to see if anything is different in like the scene coming out to the second half. Not really expecting it to be. Gerald Everett can break tackles in midair. I don't know. Anything's possible here in Madden. Appreciate the super chat. I'm guessing Allen got hurt. Does that mean quarterbacks can actually get hurt again? Because in Madden 21, those guys never got hurt. You could try and they wouldn't get hurt. I don't think I had a single quarterback injury in Madden 21. And I had a quarterback who was running all over the place, taking hard hits and everything. And we had the best pass rush in the NFL for so many years. And the opposing quarterbacks never got hurt. Are players running through coolers? We have to go to Dallas to find out. It's a good question. Squib kick. When I have the ball in this second half, I'll be chewing clock. What's the average amount of sacks a game in real life? In real life, I'd have to say it's between 2 and 3 per team. But I could find out. One of my favorite sources for NFL stats, when I'm looking at like where teams rank compared to everybody else in the league, a big site that I like is teamrankings.com. So it'll take me just a second to pull it up. I need team stats. Where are you at? There you go. Throwing a couple completions here. Carr's starting to heat up a little bit. Trying to find the sacks per game. Opponent time of possession, tackles, solo tackles, assists, sacks. No, I don't want player sacks. I want team sacks. It's under pass defense. That's why. So the best team last year was the Steelers, who had 3.2 sacks per game. The worst was Atlanta at 1.1 sacks per game. And if you want to be middle of the road, you're looking at 2.2, 2.3 sacks per game. Do you still use that techno build-up song? Great to see you, Kane. Which one? I think I have a few that would fall into that category, Michael. But I'm going to play what I think you're talking about. Here's Carr. Now he wants to throw it off balance awkwardly. Third down. Give me that one. J.C. Jackson. This is on All Pro. This is the song I thought you were talking about, Michael. Yes, I will be doing a main channel franchise this year, as long as I don't find a bunch of stuff in the game that I think would ruin the experience. That's not a fumble. Can we get some of the teams you've narrowed it down to? But that takes away all the fun for me. Maybe I'll give you a team. Uh-oh. I gotta give you one now after that. One team I am considering, as Gerald Everett's leaving the game. One team I am considering. They are merely a consideration at this point. You know, I'm going to give you a team that you probably wouldn't expect, actually. The teams I'm targeting this year are a little bit different. And one of the teams that is actually under consideration for a series this year is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Doesn't mean they're going to be one of the two teams, but they are in the final 6. Raiders got a chance to pull this off, actually. The Steelers are a possibility. I think they play in a tough division. They've it's been a while since they've won a Super Bowl. Jacobs on the outside. Do the screens work this year? They just might. They have a really good defense, but an offense that's very much a work in progress. And I think their Vegas win total this year is nothing special. I think it's like 7.5. As the Raiders look to tie the game. That's Darren Waller. Yeah, Vegas win totals in the NFL. So, the best teams, Vegas is expecting the Bills to win 11.5 games, and same with Tampa. That's kind of the Vegas over-under. And then you have teams like Kansas City, teams like Denver. Even Dallas is a 10.5 win team this year. But the Steelers, 7.5. They have the same Vegas over-under as the New York Giants and the Washington Commanders. All right, I guess we have to focus up now. I've thrown a couple picks. The Raiders are back in the game. I don't think any of the teams I'm considering right now are in the bottom 5 or 6 when it comes to Vegas win total expectation this year. I'm not looking at the biggest dumpster fire teams. I'm looking more in the mid-tier this year for both teams. Got it to Keenan Allen. Oh, the spin! Do you want to know why I'm looking at these teams? Sorry, I got my new SSD yesterday for the PS5, so I'm downloading all kinds of games right now. All kinds of games. Taking advantage of that extra 2 terabytes. Yo, can I pick a play? So I'm looking more at some of the mid-tier teams because I think about what has made some of these rebuilds easier. And it's been oftentimes finding that franchise quarterback so early and really getting on the winning path very early in the franchise. So on the second channel, for instance, quarterback is really essential because those games are just watched. If we have a bad quarterback, there's no way around it. You have to have a good quarterback. You can't just play good with a 65 overall. So, you know, taking the Texans, who have like 2 first-round picks next year, and they're not going to win a bunch of games, the chances of you drafting your franchise quarterback in that first offseason and fast-forwarding your rebuild are pretty high. So when I was looking at it, I was thinking about teams who are a little more middle of the pack and might not have that top 8, top 10 pick that guarantees them a blue chip player and potentially a franchise quarterback, forcing you to either draft better when the premium talent is off the board or consider retooling, trading players, and kind of starting your own rebuild. Whereas if you take a team like the Texans or another one of those teams that's in that tier, they kind of have the picks built up for you. They're already bad. It's just kind of getting to that first off season. And I've done a lot of those rebuilds. And so I'm looking for something a bit different this time around. I don't know about the commentary because I turn it off every game. I don't know. The Vikings yesterday, they looked about how I expected. The defense kind of struggled, and the quarterbacks weren't great. Mond had some nice plays in the second half, but I knew when Mannion is in there, they weren't going to do anything. I knew Mond would have his struggles. Ty Chandler looked really good. Kene Nwangwu looked really good. And then I liked what I saw a bit from Amir Smith-Marset on offense as well. But it kind of seemed like the offensive line held their own. Defensively, they kind of seemed to step behind oftentimes in coverage, got hit with a lot of illegal contact calls. So yeah, I mean, I've done so many franchises and so many rebuilds, and usually the first thing I look at is like, all right, who are the absolute worst teams? And start from there. I've just done those rebuilds many times. I suppose when I did the Broncos a couple years ago, that wasn't like a terrible bottom-of-the-league team. That was more of a middle-of-the-road team who had a defense and kind of needed the direction on offense. But I think about the second channel lately, the Giants were kind of a total offensive overhaul team outside of Saquon. Turned out they had a pretty good defense for me. I did the Texans just a couple years ago. The Jaguars have Trevor Lawrence, so I'm already not as interested in that situation. Jaguars aren't a bad team to pick, though. Panthers, I played with them on the PS4, like Madden 15. I think they're a great team for franchise. And at this point, I am open to repeating some teams. But the Panthers just haven't been on my radar for this cycle. Uh-oh. Carr hit by Mack. The Panthers, I do think, are an interesting team. There is some top-end talent I think you can work with there, but there isn't a whole lot of it. Out of bounds. But I'm not here to just give thoughts on every team for franchise or if I'm considering them. I got teams I'm interested in. I'm narrowing it down, and I'll be revealing as I'm able to. More fun team to rebuild this year, Giants or Houston? That's a good question. Because the Giants, think about the drafts they've had recently and some of the young talent you'd get to use. Because this year, they added Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal. Kadarius Toney's entering year 2. There's certainly, like, more players to develop on their end. The Texans are still, like, adding their building blocks, and I really liked their decision to go and get, what was the corner's name again? Stingley. And I think that the Giants gives you a tougher division to play in. Than the AFC South. You're the Chargers, go for it. I should. What would Brandon Staley do here at his own 20-yard line? Let's do it for Brandon Staley. We head to the air. Got it to Guyton. You know, I end up doing those fantasy draft streams all the time because, like, I'm not sure what else to do if I don't have a main series started up. So possibly, I mean, I always started up with the intention of finishing a season, but then the games just, like, aren't fun enough to go more than 2 or 3 streams. So I stop. And I don't want to do that, but I mean, if I don't have anything else to do, then probably. Because when Madden's first out and I'm waiting to get my series started up, I'm trying to make content. I want to cover the game. I want to put out content and try to bring in new subscribers and stuff like that. So I'm going to do something, even if it's as throwaway as a fantasy draft thing. But to start out here, I'll just be streaming and going from there, checking out the modes and everything. Might do some head-to-head games. Maybe I'll do a fantasy draft of some sort. Yeah, 18 of 20. Passing underneath here has been pretty simple. Maybe some fantasy drafts where it is more of a challenge, you know? Everybody under 70 overall or something. I don't know. Something to make it more difficult. Yeah, I could take a knee here, but I guess I haven't. How did he miss the tackle like that? I'm just trying to get more of a feel for the gameplay here, so probably not going to kneel out the clock at all. I didn't get into the PC side, no. I know there were some mods out there that looked pretty cool. I just didn't get to it with Madden 22. I really wish it wasn't the last gen experience because PC should be the best place to play Madden. And, you know, maybe with mods, it still is the best place to play. But you don't have features that are on the Series X and the 5. So it makes it less appealing. Maybe when we're in the winter and the game's cheaper and mods are actually out, I'll check it out this year. But there wouldn't be any point for me right now. Same end screen. Where is the new celebration, man? Come on. Where's player of the game? They haven't updated that graphic. It's like the only place where that font is still in the game. Yeah, so the end of game sequence is the exact same. This is all the same too. Do they still delete a bunch of the highlights? They do. Only certain highlights are still going to be there once you get to the end of the game. Whereas in MLB The Show, you can look at any ball that was put into play. Any at-bat at any point. Yeah, coach slamming the clipboard. A lot of recycling in that department. Very environmentally friendly. All right. So, there is some new stuff in franchise this year you have to check out. And scouting is something that we got last year, but it wasn't where we wanted it to be. And it wasn't good enough. It took a lot of time. I really did not enjoy it because it just felt like it took forever to do everything. And then they weren't giving you useful information oftentimes for players. So you still will be hiring scouts and assigning them to certain regions to focus on certain positions. And the milestones are all the same there with the regional scouting, national scouting, super focus, and private workouts. Shoulder pads look non-existent in this game. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the pads a lot of players wear these days, especially skill players, they kind of wear the most low-profile pads. Yeah, rollover cap is in the game. Yes, that's really cool. There's definitely no restricted free agents, definitely no exclusive rights free agents, or draft pick compensation. They would have talked about that. So you still pick what scouts you want here. You got to go and look at the region breakdown and decide, all right, what are we going to focus on and where's the best area to do that? So nationally, this class happens to be strong at receiver, right tackle, and corner. I still don't like the separating of sides, like right tackle specifically is strong. Left tackle, maybe not. Left guard is weak. What about right guard? What's going on, Mike? You hide someone's comment? I hope I fixed that. Daddy Sports. I think Mike accidentally muted you, but I think that you should be good to go. So you can play the game right now if you have EA Play on the PS5, Xbox Series X. I would imagine the Xbox One and PS4. I just haven't done it there myself. What's going on, B-Ron? Good to see you. Yeah, Mike, we need to work on the accuracy here. I know it's preseason for everybody, but you got to get focused, buddy. Yeah, edge designation, interior defender, that kind of thing. Like, I'm so over right tackle, left tackle, actually being like different pools of players. So, I want to see the players here. So, these are the scouts we have right off the bat. View region prospects. On the big board, you will see a player's current projection, how much they have moved on the board in that week, and how much they have been scouted. Information like an archetype and talent range is revealed after having a high scouting percentage. Are we not able to see the players yet? Oh, now we can. So a change they made now is showing you some of the key ratings there on the right side of the player card. So each position kind of has their 4 core attributes that will be there. Looks like we're pretty early to be seeing any real information. But the appearance of everything here is still the same. And unfortunately, like, I want to go from one player to the next. I can't just hit right trigger right now and go on to the next player. I have to back out, wait for it to load. Everybody disappeared. That's not convenient. If I go to quarterback, for instance, I want to be able to, like, look at Eric Moran's physicals and then go to the next guy with one click. Why isn't that in the game yet? Why do I have to back out, take the seconds for that to load in his profile, slide to the right for his physicals? I need to hit one button. There's so much information and so many players. This needs to be optimized. It needs to be fast when you want to see information. Now, it's nice that right here, you're able to see those ratings. But if I want to see those physicals, you have to go in and out, in and out. And that's something you can't overlook when draft classes have 250 players in them. You've got to account for, you're not going to know every player. But if you're talking about quarterbacks, you have to know the top 10. And that's the kind of thing that adds up and really ate at me last year with this scouting. Now, having that information on the right side is nice because I'd be able to at least see those ratings right away. But it doesn't feel like enough. Yeah, in games like MLB The Show, it's a lot easier to go from one player to the next. But I was really hoping that in this menu, you could go from one player to the next with one click. So in this case, we have 7 quarterbacks who are projected to be draftable. There's no scouting progress yet this early in the season. You got rounds 1 to 2 projection, giving you a little more of a wide window, and then day 3 guys. Now, at first, when they were giving you these wide ranges for players, so you weren't quite sure where they would go, I was like, yeah, that's awesome. It shouldn't be as exact. The thing is, if you go by the all regions, all board, you can kind of get more of an idea of where players are really projected. This gets you a lot more exact, you know. Here are all the round 1 players, for instance. And then your round 1 to 2 guys. And when you're drafting and you see that, like, a guy you want is 40th on the board, you know he's probably not going anytime soon. So it's not quite to the point where I want it, where you have to take the players you like the most first. I don't like the game you can play in Madden where it's like, this player's going to be really good, but I can get him in 3 rounds. Like, that's ridiculous that you'd be drafting some rando tight end first before this edge rusher that you know is going to be good, but he's just rated later, so you can take him later. As far as draft classes go, I don't know yet. Like, I was doing custom draft classes with the Broncos because Blackjack was making them, and that was phenomenal. Keep in mind here, I don't believe that draft classes are like cross-gen. So I'm not even sure if Blackjack wants to make classes or if he even has a PS5. So that would be required for that to continue. Chances are it's going to be base classes. But we haven't talked at all about it. So I guess I'll get more scouting progress as we continue on. Week 1 doesn't give you a lot to do here. Been with you since Madden 25. I appreciate it. A lot of you have been here for the long haul. Discuss arrival star player. Scout. So I want to get a feel for where the milestones are and when you can actually get something done. So we're on to this is the regional scouting stage, I believe, that we're in right now. So you have scouts assigned to each region. And then current position, none. When do I choose them? Those are my scouts. I can't hire, can't fire right now. Yep, this is franchise mode. Yep, I'm just testing things out right now, playing as the LA Chargers. So after that first week, we got the 20%. What do we know about Jimmy Dixon at this point? They did talk about in the news how they were going to be prioritizing the key ratings first. So right off the bat here, we do have one important one for Jimmy Dixon, B finesse moves. That gets us a pretty good starting point. And now the those physical ratings are being shown. So elite is the best. Great is next. Good. Solid is really just average. Looks like he has really nice speed, strength, and acceleration combo. Based on what we know already, looks like Jimmy Dixon is a pretty solid edge rusher. So he's somebody you'd obviously want on the board. How about quarterback Eric Moran? What do we know after the first round? We didn't get any of the top 4 key ratings. We got break, sack, and play action. And then the physicals here, that's where throw power is shown. Great to elite throw power. Marginal to decent speed. Yeah, decent isn't decent. It's below average. I think they should change the scouting scale a little bit. Solid, decent, good. I don't know. I feel like that mid-tier kind of needs a little redo. Thank you for the super chat, MrHurriicane. Love your incessant positivity. Am I really being that positive? Take my money for the Disney Plus and Paramount streaming services I just canceled. Also, do a hockey or soccer franchise. If I'm able to have the time set aside this year, we're going to check those games out. I've had a much more solid like uploading and content creation sort of schedule over the past few months, so it's possible I can actually set aside a few days to at least check the games out this year. You prefer the 80-20 scale? I mean, numbers are a lot easier than words when it comes to scouting like that. Like letter grades and numbers make sense. Words, like good to great. In my head, I'm translating that to like second best to third best. So it's kind of a goofy scale, honestly. I think I would prefer them to just switch the physicals to a letter grade system. Give me B to C acceleration, A- to B acceleration, whatever. So what is nice, though, is say you're trying to find players to start getting more information on. It's after the first round here. Chargers shouldn't be looking at quarterback. Well, let's pretend that we are. You can just start to scroll and see, all right, which players are we getting the good info on if those 4 ratings are to your liking. So here is Brian Sarah. Not sure if my webcam is covering that, but it showed a short accuracy right away. I can find that a lot faster than going through every individual scouting report. So that is a nice time-saving measure. Gives you an idea of who is worth looking more into. Reminds me a lot of the top 3 system, you know, from the old scouting. Getting that little shortcut. But it's only the first round, so it's just a small bit of data here. A range of 40 times. That would make more sense. Yeah, like 40 is one everybody kind of understands. Like, yeah, I think he's kind of a 4.5, 4.6 guy. We all speak 40, I think. Yeah, 50 and 70 should be pretty massive. I think that by the time you get there, you're going to have a very good general idea. It's just going to be kind of those more secondary ratings that could push a player over the edge or whatever. And it seemed like in creating their draft classes this year, they made it so players could sometimes be a bit more specialized in certain areas and maybe have higher strengths and lower weaknesses. We'll see how that plays out, because that's a concept I've always been a fan of. The trade finder. That's right. There's apparently a trade finder in this game. Allow me to check that out. So I think, how do you get there now is the thing. Say Kellen Mond is the guy we want. How do we do that generation thing? Apparently it's not from that menu. If I go to manual trade and I say, hey, I want Kellen Mond, hit triangle to get offers. They want a 2 and a 7, Drew Tranquil, Brendan James, Kyle Van Noy, Josh Kelly. So a trade finder. It's there. Still only 3 players or picks per side, making some of the blockbuster trades more difficult to pull off. Let's say we put a player on there. Just Asante Samuel. What will you give us for Asante Samuel? It's now not just looking at the Vikings, but all teams. So you're able to see, all right, we'll give you Sean Murphy Bunting and a couple backups. MVS from the Chiefs. So a trade finder. We've been waiting for this for a long time. Is Xavier Rhodes on the Falcons? I feel like that's completely missed me. Right now, he's a free agent. Doesn't have a team at the moment. How many years did he play in Indy? Was it 1 or 2 years? Yeah, it was 2 years. Running game feels better in 23. Also, go Birds. Well, it's an eagle emoji. Otherwise, I was not going to be sure what bird you were talking about. But I appreciate Super Chat. I liked what I was getting from the running game. Just the physics, I guess. Just runs getting set up and reading running lanes and everything. First impression was solid. You know, it feels like a lot of these teams are lowballing me. I'd much rather them lowball than offer players who are like they shouldn't be. And actually, there is some of that. Like, Kyle Fuller is on his 3rd contract now. He's an older corner. He was drafted in 2014. He shouldn't be traded straight up for Asante, but, you know, it's the CPU offering me, so I would be getting the bad deal. Let's go to some other players here. Everyone's gonna try this. No offers. There's nothing you can get for Patrick Mahomes. I think this is a cool feature, though, because a lot of times I am looking for a certain player and I spend like 10 minutes trying to put together the perfect package. Let's see. So I can't do it there for Mahomes. Let's try Trevor Lawrence. They would do it for a 1, a 2, and a 3, which still isn't enough. But that is an example. But if you had a 4th trade slot, maybe. Yeah, it's still like, why 3? Go to 4. Especially because, yeah, I'll try Herbert on there. A big part of trades these days, if you haven't noticed, is pick swapping. So it's like, hey, we'll trade you. We want to move up in the 1st round. So we're going to give you our 2nd round pick. And then because we pick higher than you in the 3rd round, let's swap 3s. And so a pick swap eating up parts of that trade, one on each side, gives you less options as far as just being able to give more. Because a pick swap has value, but when you can only trade 3 pieces per side, it's harder to find a good spot for a pick swap. So, for Justin Herbert, we could get Jamar Chase and Chidobe Awuzie with Jackson Carman, Tre'Davious White, Vita Vea, Chris Jones, Zach Wilson, a 1 and a 2. Jair and Chris Barnes. Dalvin with a 1 and a 3 in the future. Yeah, you see some things there that just shouldn't be happening. Like, there needs to be more conditions in there. The Bengals should not be interested in any quarterback that would be, like, starting caliber. Maybe a backup. That's it. That's an extra layer you got to get to. In general, I don't think these trade offers have been like terrible from what I've seen so far. It's just you see a team and it's like, that team shouldn't be interested. The players are irrelevant. It's the team that shouldn't be in the talks. I wanted to see if Josh Allen suffered an injury or what that was, because he didn't play in week 1. Dislocated hip. A quarterback injury. They didn't happen in Madden 21. They got some of the real injuries in here. Tim Patrick got hurt last week. I'm looking to see if any other quarterbacks got hurt. Wow, what's going on here? I didn't know Calvin Ridley tore his PCL. When that happened? They have Odell's ACL in here. He's on a team right now. He's on Seattle in this case. Yeah, Odell would totally sign with the Seahawks this year, recovering from his ACL. I know he's suspended. It's just they don't have suspensions in the game, so they got to tear his knee up instead. Exactly, Mike. Isn't this kind of bizarre what they've reduced the top stories to being here? Social media feed, kind of an afterthought as well. There are some draft stories. Playing the game right now because it's available through EA Play Early Access, 10-hour trial. I'm on the PS5. I know you can find it on the 5, and you can find it on the Xbox Series X right now. I'm guessing the NFL doesn't want suspensions in the game. And it's their game, so they can make that decision. Right? If they just made it available for, like, auto-generated draft class players. Like, no real NFL player can get suspended in your game. But, like, if that stud receiver of yours got caught with PEDs, like, it happens. I don't know about PS4. I would imagine, I don't see why not. I would imagine it all updates and syncs across all the stores and everything, but I just haven't been there to firsthand check. Let's advance a week again. We're going to eventually get to free agency here, but I have a lot of attention placed on the scouting. You got your mock drafts. So that was a feature introduced last year, and I kind of like that. It's a nice little touch. Gives you an idea of who might be there when you're selecting. Or just like to see what do teams think, or what do they think you might do in the first round. Do the Chargers have a first rounder this year? Are they one of the teams without? Oh, they do. It's just late. Okay. They're projecting us to take a receiver who has D catch in traffic and D route running. Is that deep route running? Yeah. I saw the letter grade there and the DRR, and I'm like, what's DRR? D route running? Didn't make the connection there. And C short. So that's interesting. At wide receiver, deep route running seems to be the prioritized route running rating. I would make it medium, personally. But I digress. Dance Revolution. That's right. Totally missed that. How easy was it to install your internal SSD? Very easy. So, the only thing you're going to need is a screwdriver. And, I mean, there's videos on YouTube, but it takes maybe 5 minutes. It depends how quickly you're able to figure out how to get the cover off your PlayStation and back on, because it kind of snaps awkwardly. But like, all you have to do, there's just one expansion slot that's a rectangle. You take a screw out and then you move the spacer to whatever lines up with your SSD and pop it in place, screw it in, put the cover back on. It shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes, really. And then the formatting of the hard drive's really fast. What does Playmaker archetype mean? Where'd you see that exactly? That sounds like a receiver thing. This is a little early to be checking out archetypes. It's for receivers. Check Allen. No problem. And just make sure you're using a proper SSD. It has to be a very low profile one. I got the one that Mark Cerny put in his PlayStation. If it was good enough for Mark Cerny, who helped design the PS4 and the PS5, it's good enough for me. It's like the officially licensed one by Sony too, so that's always a plus. It replaced Route Runner. Really? They just swapped out the archetypes there for some reason? Slot, physical, deep, and playmaker. Oh, playmaker, that doesn't sound... That does replace the route running archetype, but those skills are like the Kadarius Toney archetype. Ball carrier vision, juke, and break tackle. Or like the Debo Samuel. Slot is the route running one. Really. Medium route running is not the key in any of these? Interesting. So I just want to see the receivers then around the league. I'm guessing that would be like Debo's archetype. Yeah, he's playmaker or slot. No new ratings this year as far as I know. 98 vision, 91 break tackle, 92 juke. What is Debo's overall at running back? The world must know. He's a 90 overall receiver. I think he might be like a 95 or 96 if you move him to running back, or even higher potentially. Let's just, in the name of science, of course, let's do this. Yeah, my guy here is a 99 overall running back. I'm going to simulate the season with him there. I want to see what he runs for. Robbed of 99 club. Exactly. Debo is a 99 in Madden 23. Tell everybody. I want to actually pull up his player card here because I want to see all those running back ratings together. 93 speed, 98 vision, 92 juke. The catching is up there, of course. Debo better than Derrick Henry? That's what Madden says. I didn't say it. Debo Samuel is the best running back in Madden 23. You just have to deal with it. Got to worry about his carrying, though. Yeah, carrying doesn't really factor into the overall much, does it? No, Debo is not listed at running back. I did that. But I saw his ratings, and I'm like, what is he at a running back? He's pretty good. Just saying. And then Derrick Henry has that award winner trait here, that tag. Teams are more interested in him during free agency because he won an award. What award did he win? Because he missed a lot of time last year. He didn't win anything last year, right? The year before was pretty good. Yeah, that was a 2020 Offensive Player of the Year. So, do those have some staying power? Because I thought that kind of thing would be reset after a year. But if that still is affecting his reputation 2 years later, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, let's check Lamar. Wasn't he 2019 MVP, or what year was he MVP? They have award winner. I think that's really cool that it could have some staying power like that. He was 2019 MVP. Man, that was already like, as we get into 2022, we'll be saying that Lamar was the MVP 3 years ago. That's just, time is moving too quick, man. Can you edit tags and motivations? Good point. I don't think you could, but we will check. Matt Ryan was MVP in 16. Is that still around? That's the next thing we're checking. Isn't this fun? All this science we're doing. Styles, ratings, player traits, contracts. So that stuff's not editable. Check Cam. We can probably get to him eventually. Ryan doesn't have his. Who was the 17 MVP? Who was the MVP in 17? Brady? Well, Brady's won too much after 17 too, so that's actually not the best example, but it isn't showing that as a tag. Jay with a real deep cut there. Come on. Check Trubisky for MVP. Nickelodeon valuable player. Because with the Bears, he won a game on Nickelodeon and was voted the MVP. Come on. That is awesome. Trubisky has the bridge quarterback. He lost the game but won the award. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He won the award, so they probably interviewed him after the game and gave him the trophy, and they lost. That is the funniest thing. Nothing is going to top that today. They slimed him after a loss? Oh my God. Kenny Pickett. Future starter and quarterback of the future. So I wonder what it takes to get those tags. Is it just being taken in the first round, you think? He's a 68. Malik Willis was a third rounder who is probably around the same overall. He's actually higher, but no tags. So I'm guessing that would be based on draft position. If they take a guy in the first round, he'll be expected to start and given those tags. I have been to a Viking in Twin game before, but it's been a long time. And now I don't live near the teams. Let's see Ritter. What round was Ritter? Desmond Ritter has future starter and QB of the future. Now, when it comes to these rookies, they might have just manually put these on and not followed any sort of rule. You know, Ritter being drafted alongside Mariota has more of an expectation to start than Malik Willis does next to Ryan Tannehill. Maybe both do eventually, but I think that Ritter was drafted with more intention to start. So let's go check Matt Corral. Yep. No tag for Matt Corral. And you could say that he was drafted with the intention to potentially start. Oh, wow. One of his motivations here. First of all, he wants to be top of the depth chart. He is not. He also wants a mentor, which Baker apparently is not. And he wants to play for a better head coach. Matt Rule's win percentage is 29%. That's pretty bad. Now, when it comes to some of these rookies, like, they clearly have face scans for a lot of players. But I think that's just based on if they're available or not. So, you know, some players might look really different. But they usually are pretty good about getting scans in even during the season and patching those in. Interesting here that PJ Walker has the trade target tag. player will be added to the trade block. Close to home, New Jersey. So the close to home, it's just going to be based on their college. Like, I don't know where PJ Walker is from, but I do know that Temple is in New Jersey, right? So it's not really where they're all... Well, actually, he is from New Jersey. This is a bad example. We have to find somebody who wants close to home who isn't from their college area, because he happens to be. I know the game doesn't have players' hometowns. There's no way. Oh, yeah, Temple's in Philly. Temple is Philly. All those states up there are the same. How do they... Is there somewhere in here that has hometown still? It's in there somewhere. Yeah, Temple is in Philly. How did I not remember that right off the rip? Somewhere in here they have players' hometown data, but it's not shown. Give me a close to home. We're going to do it again. Oh, that's a motivation we have to find. That's going to be harder to find intentionally, but we're going to do it. Gotta give me one more option here. He wants to play with a franchise quarterback. He doesn't want to protect some scrub quarterback. Gotta respect that. Close to home, Florida. Where'd Deontay go to school? Toledo is not in Florida. So somewhere they have data in here that knows the hometowns. I didn't think they would. They must import that data somewhere. That's really interesting. So now we're going to want to know if for drafted players, if they're going to be based on their college or if they have hometown data under the hood. I can't believe my views on this are going up while I'm doing this. But I appreciate that you guys are here to witness all these scientific research experiments. We're going to get to an off-season eventually. QB1 check-in. Negotiating. So you still are only able to negotiate with players who are entering the last year of their deals. So if you want to re-up a first-round player after year 3 when you picked up their option, it's not working that way. This takes up way more space. So negotiating status. Negotiating. Let's lowball him and just see what happens here. So here's what contracts look like in here. I'm going to turn my face cam off temporarily just so you can see everything here and I'm not blocking any of the information. So here we have Derwin James. Motivations. He wants the big market. He's got it. He wants no income tax. He doesn't have that. And the head coach historic record seems to be good enough for now. So you have kind of pre-made offers here. And basically, it's going to be a nice little shortcut if you're not used to setting up contracts and you don't really care. But let's do a custom offer then. At what point does that... I think we have to make an offer to see what he thinks of this stuff on the fly. So we're going to lowball him here after I block a bot. Someone just said Derwin James looks like Exhibit from Pimp My Ride. You know I love this team, but the deal is just wrong. So you can offer him there once per week. Ultimately, the contract should basically be the same. It's just a few more factors going into how much they like the team. Yeah, I need to figure out a solution for the bots. A big issue is that they message with like emojis and stuff. So it's like easier to block phrases and words. But I'm not sure if I can block certain emojis. What they need to let you do is just block usernames. Anybody who's got a .com in their name just like can't chat. That would be a solution. Sub-only mode? Is that a thing on here? Ooh. I know I can make it like member only, but does this sub-only chat would be interesting on this. I know Twitch has that. There is sub-only? Oh, you can do polls on here? I didn't know that. One sec, I'm trying to figure out the sub-only chat. Wow. All right. We are going to enter sub-only chat, and they put a timer on that too. You must be subscribed to the channel for 60 seconds before you're allowed to comment. Now, if they teach the bots how to subscribe, that's going to create an issue. If the bots are getting smarter, we're going to need to upgrade our tactics. What a good time. Yes. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, now would be a great time, especially if you want to interact. All you got to do is be subscribed for 60 seconds. Otherwise, the chat fills up with these bots who are very inappropriate. And this is a professional, adult event. 60 seconds. I've been subscribed since the Browns rebuild. I think you're good to go. I am excited for franchise mode for Madden 23. Appreciate that positive. There are some things I'm liking so far. We'll get to an off season and get to see that free agency that I'm excited for. That's true, Pee-wee. But I'm just hoping people see it the way I saw it. All right. So we're in week 4. By the way, I just want to see this. I'm testing out the poll feature. I know it's early, but gameplay franchise, I will be looking to do one, but I haven't revealed the team yet or anything. Thank you for the super chat, and please participate in the poll. I have asked a very important question. Who is the MVP? Is it Mitchell Trubisky or Adam Kane? And I can end the poll at any time, it looks like. All right. That's cool. I didn't know you could do polls in here. Probably could for a long time. The Nickelodeon valuable player. I can't believe they gave it to him in a loss. I need to watch that on YouTube after this. And Jack, I appreciate you becoming a new member to the channel. Thank you very much. I know, right? There are a lot of things you could do with a poll here. All right, Mitchell Trubisky, once again, now the two-time Nickelodeon valuable player as he defeats Adam Kane. So we are at 30% here for a lot of these players. Now, I'm not sure yet if we've gotten to the point where certain positions get a boost in the scouting. Fullbacks are at 35. We have a receiver at 35 as well, a couple of them. So we're a few weeks in. C and F. I think it'd be really interesting if they let you customize the positions that were shown here, because like maybe your team is looking for something in particular. That's again like an extra layer I wouldn't expect to be an option right now, but it would just be cool. And you see the first ratings we're getting now, it's not like run blocking and stiff arm and stamina. So we got a route running and 2 catch ratings. So you'd already probably be unsure about McCutcheon based on what you know here. And Positive Expert, new member on the channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We'll be doing a channel member live stream probably 2 weekends from now. And Madden 23 is probably going to be the main topic when that happens. Really appreciate that. College stats would be nice. Madden 09, I believe, had that. One of those Maddens in that era had that. Dak won MVP too when he lost to the 49ers. All right, they're letting people take over the polls then if it's always the losing quarterback. Come on. That's got to be the most awkward thing. Like presented an award for a kids' TV network after losing a game and then getting slimed. Like, you wouldn't see me for a few weeks after that. I'd be out of there. All right, little bonus here. We're getting archetype. It looks like a lot sooner. Bryson Walton. Pass protector archetype here at left tackle. A big dog underdog draft. I'm not sure I'm a big dog, though. That's the thing. How much is the big dog? Kane, would you consider doing a franchise where you change teams as the head coach? I'm not against the idea of like having that as extra risk and tension to a series and potentially having to change teams. I think that'd be kind of fun, especially when, you know, I've done so many series over the years. Like, what can you do that would be different? Well, the risk of getting fired would be interesting. So that's on the table. Here we go. Double A. A awareness, A pass block. So I am pretty confident in saying that scouting will save you some time. There's just more they could do. You know, just seeing those ratings there on the right-hand side, the fact that those ratings are going to be unlocked sooner in the process does help save time and help you organize your board. But we need to be able to hit the right trigger and go to the next player. so I can quickly compare. Head Coach 09 Hot Seat Edition. Yeah, that's like the only series I've been fired in. Now, when I was with the Browns on Madden 19 or whatever that was, 18, I did, possibly, I barely avoided financial probation. We were underwater, but I didn't lose the team. But we got a warning that we were close to financial probation, which is in Madden, if you're the owner, you actually have to worry about the funds of your team. And if you go in the negative and you stay there for a year, you lose the team as an owner. It's hilarious. Going 19-0 helps. It does. That's a lot of money to be made there. I spent a lot of money in that series. But you know what? The Friday night fried fish, that really helped keep things afloat. I really appreciated everybody for devouring the leftover fried fish from Friday night. Everybody loves, a good 3-day-old fried fish. That's the kind of food you pay $12 for at the stadium. So we're going to keep simulating now. I got to check out the owner mode in here just to see. I haven't checked it out in a while. Breakout. We got player breakout here. Let's just see what the scene looks like. Favorite player from all my franchises? I often think about that as being Andy McKenzie. I always got a soft spot for Andy McKenzie because of where we were when we got him in the Gophers franchise. It felt like he kind of saved the team. We were chasing another player, Tyrone Campbell, and then he shows up. He's the true quarterback to take us to the next level. And then, he suffered a season-ending injury, so there's even more of an emotional connection there. He got hurt in week 1, and then he never won a championship in college playing. And then I played with him in a Madden in a career mode. So Andy's always one of those players that's in that conversation for me. Try and sign to free agent. I imagine that is still the same. You can't sign him to a 2-year deal or anything. And to be honest, most players at this stage wouldn't be signed to a multi-year contract. That would be incredibly rare. But if you wanted to make a move here, say we need a running back, because you can always use a running back. You can always talk yourself into that. I'm curious at what point the rollover cap hits, because that's something else they added to the game. So if you don't use up all your cap space one season, left over will be rolling over to the following year. But at what point is that number taken is what I'm wondering. Is me signing Raheem Mostert right now hurting my rollover cap situation? That's the kind of smaller detail I got to get to know. See that rollover from 21? We have to figure out at what point it grabs the number for 22. So that's another feature I'm really glad they added. So if you're in year 1 of your rebuild or going into your first offseason, there's incentive to not spend all your cap space on free agents, to just take a year and develop, and then take that extra cap space into the following season where it might be more realistic for you to compete and win. That's the other thing, too. I wanted to see how much the cap goes up every year. So right here, it is a $218 million cap in 2022. Just going to make note of that. And then now I have to cut a player because I signed a player. So, this menu here, we're familiar with this one. Gives you some recommendations. Had to make room for an extra running back. One thing I have been not messing with here are the staff. Anything with the staff. So we are earning our staff points. They didn't talk about this in the news this year. But you got your offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. In Madden 22, they were unable to be hired away as head coaches elsewhere. So it allowed you to basically infinitely develop them, which was an oversight. I'm not sure if they would have made a change, but they didn't talk about it. So I'm not expecting it to be different. So looking at these talent trees, they are the same as last year. I would have liked more development because this is about the most basic implementation you can have. All right, we're in week 5. Top 10 prospects. Eric Moran's up to number 1. He wasn't there before. Yeah, he took over the number 1 spot. 30% there. I forget when the milestones are, but we're just going to simulate and try to find them. Bell versus Turner. To be fair, though, Boogie Turner got a longer career. But, I mean, you got to go Boogie in that case. He did have the longer time to do it. But, I mean, he was on another planet. Crisis and confidence. A lot of these scenarios we have seen before. I also want to continue to negotiate with Derwin James. I kind of want to make it so he doesn't like our offer. Oh, this is the previous offer. They rejected this offer already. All right. So it holds that, and you can increase it. I do like how on the right side here, it shows you what the cap hits will be every single year. I think that's a nice touch. So this is a menu they did improve. Now, where does it show fair offer? Fair offer appears to have been replaced. They have your player friendly, your neutral, close to market value, player may not accept. Let's just offer the neutral. I think a player like Derwin James should probably decline that, but he accepts it. We got him on the neutral deal. And maybe it's just we were a good fit for him and he liked the team. See, my camera is blocking this here. But Bryce Callahan, for instance, high interest. So what if I offer the team-friendly option then? This is less valuable. This knocks it down by over $1 million. We don't have the cap space. Never mind. We can't do it right now. So this is interesting. In this menu, above my head here, it's showing the 2023 cap room. So already in this menu, it's looking ahead to next year's cap space. I love that. And clearly, we don't have much. I've been wondering if the trade block and trade finder options will change from week 1 to week 8 given a team's record. I doubt it, Rec. I doubt they put that kind of nuance into it, but that is a good point. Hello from New Zealand, wink wink. Hope everyone is enjoying Madden Day. Jay, you didn't have to go on vacation. You didn't have to, but I hope it's beautiful there. I hope it's great. Hope you love it. Appreciate Super Chat. Sign them to a completely guaranteed deal? Yeah, that's one of the things in Madden where they have it boiled down to just salary and signing bonus. So in the Madden world, bonus is guaranteed. Salary isn't. Where in real life, we really want to know what the um guaranteed money a player is going to get, because you can guarantee salary and you have a signing bonus that is always guaranteed. I mean, you just signed the check and handed it over to him, so he's already got it. But Madden doesn't have that kind of nuance. So, if you wanted to fully guarantee a deal, it's not really an option. I still have to go down to a minimum level in salary and then try to make up for it with bonus. But in this case here, I can't even experiment that much because I don't have enough 23 cap space. It should change if the trade target tag works. Tags are meant to change weekly. That is right. Tags are supposed to be fluid, but I'm not sure who they would be changing for on a weekly basis. If we find a team that's maybe 0-5 at this point, we could take a look at what they have. Standings are there. That's right. The Chiefs are 1-4. All right. The Chiefs are a great team to think of here. They wouldn't be expected to be bad, but they happen to be. Are they going to sim worse because of no Tyreek and just the receivers situation? You think they'll sim worse this year? Got the franchise quarterback tag on Mahomes. Creed Humphrey, day one starter. Trade target Young. Player will be added to the trade block. I don't think it shows when that change occurred, and I don't know if he had it from the beginning. So it's one of those things, maybe with your team in your franchise, when you're going at a slower pace, you'll be able to tell. Rashad Fenton has it. Frank Clark, bridge player. Trent McDuffie, day one starter. George Karlaftis, day one starter. Sky Moore. They still have DeAndre Baker here as a future starter, but it also has him on the trade block. Maybe just because of where he is on the depth chart. Because he would have to be at least like 4th. Yeah. So it looks like most teams' 4th corner will be on that trade block. There are a couple different tags. You have the trade target Young and trade target, what did it say? Veteran? Yeah. Not sure that makes any sort of a difference. Future starter here for St. Just. Player will be above similarly rated bridge players on the depth chart. And that tag gives him extra XP. So does that mean you can have him as a future starter tag with focus player and just like triple that XP? Is there a career mode like Sidney Jean-Charles a possibility? I don't know about this year. I think that adding 2 franchises will put me kind of at my limit for what I could handle from a just volume of series standpoint. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. I do plan to do a big franchise over here and on the second channel, a rebuild style franchise I've been doing, but really want to get back to doing a traditional franchise over here. ETA, who knows at this point? You know, when it comes to me in these series, I'm always wanting to make sure I have the right sliders and that I'm ready to really dive in and make sure the game is in a good place. So hopefully sooner than later. But once I narrow down the team, I would like to share that. Is there going to be a stream tomorrow? I would count on it, Jack. I expect I'll be streaming tomorrow. At this point here, I should be 2 hours, 15 minutes or so into my trial, so I still have plenty left. I thought week 7 was one of the dates. Week 8 is the trade deadline. We'll see what happens around the league. I have no idea when Matt's going to have his base sliders ready, but I'll be in contact with him. I talk to him a lot regardless, but yeah, sliders is where he's where I go to for sure. I want to check out the bye week scenario because they tweaked that last year, and I actually think it's more of a decision. So this is what it was last year. You can have the team bonding retreat where you boost morale and hurt awareness. I don't know that that's the best option. Like, I remember having a pretty bad losing streak after doing this in one of the bye weeks with the Giants. You can do stay grinding for XP, but you lose stamina. And then you can self-scout where you boost your awareness, but lose stamina. So we'll do stay grinding here. And another thing we should be checking out as everybody gets 500 experience and loses 7 stamina. So progressive fatigue. They brought it into Madden last year. I was excited about that. However, I felt like more had to be done so that in-game you'd see like players just not play. And it just clearly wasn't managed quite right. And it's just one of those things I have to spend some time with to see if it's any different. But we've had the full padded practice intensity, which is supposed to drain stamina the fastest. Starters are getting a lot of the reps here, and this will help determine too like how much XP is going to each player in practice. I know my camera is blocking this right now, but if you want your backups to get most of the experience, they can. But then I think your starters get less of a boost for that current week. Any teams you're eyeing this year? I said earlier it was really 6 teams I was considering at this point, and I shared that one of them was the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's just a team I am considering. Like I said, there are 6 candidates right now. So, you know, I gave those reps to the backup. What was it, left end? Or I split those ones. It was backups to the right ends. So when you do that, those game plan boosts are a little bit smaller, and you're giving more XP to backups. Is kind of the balance there. And this isn't new. This was in last year's game, but some of you maybe didn't play last year, so just showing it. Somebody earlier in the stream asked if I would do like a relocation franchise or an expansion team, and I love that idea. I think that would be a lot of fun. What I would have to do for that to work is take over a team and go through the entire 22 season and really start the series in the 2023 year. So the first episode basically being creating the team and doing a draft. We wouldn't even be playing the 2022 season. And to me, that's always been like a weird thing to like start a Madden cycle with, because we'd be skipping a year essentially. I'm going to put out a poll though. You know, I just want some opinions on that. What do you think of that idea? What it would be, I'd find the team I want to replace, relocate them, and then hold some sort of mock expansion draft where I'm taking a bunch of the backups from other teams around the league. Like, I'd still have to figure out how I'd actually construct it all. But we'd be replacing a team, taking on a bunch of backup caliber players, doing a draft, and then go. I know it wouldn't be for everybody, but an expansion franchise is something I've always had interest in. If the game had created teams, you could do it from the very first year. All right, so we're back here in the scouting now. I'm going to probably end the poll. Looks like 68% yes, 69%. Nice. Yeah, the relocation teams, as far as I know, are the exact same too. There are some in there I like, but I mean, it's been the same options for so many years. Yep, creative team's been gone for 11 years. Oh, commissioner mode would be so cool. Being able to set certain rules, you know. If I had commissioner mode in here, like you can do like certain rule changes and stuff in NBA 2K, I'd be like, all right, no more franchise tags. Not an option. You want a player, you got to sign him to a real contract. That'd be the main thing. I don't know if I have anything else I feel strongly about right now. Yeah, that's the main thing. %65% scouting here on the top quarterback. And you'll notice now there are no more question marks. There are ratings. We are given the letter grade, and ratings we are now given a range. And I really like that. Sometimes that range is wide. You know, B to D carrying. That could be pretty good or pretty awful. But you're given a range. And the more percentage you get on that player, I think the more specific that stuff gets. So I now want to know, when you put all your effort into scouting a player, how exact does that information get? 4 points for a field goal over 50 yards. Oh boy, you're introducing a lot of chaos with that, David. How many points should Justin Tucker's field goal have been worth when he hit the 66-yarder? Should that just be a touchdown? Like, if you can make a 60-yard field goal, that's just a touchdown now. This is some NFL blitz, NFL street conversation here. Automatic game winner. Shouldn't count. Yeah, if you make a 70-yard field goal, you just win the game. We can change our focus. Let's go to wide receiver just for fun. They do that in the CFL. What do they do in the CFL? Week 8, assign your national scouts. In this stage, your scout will add an additional 20% to the players selected in each of the regions. Okay. Touchbacks are worth 1 point in the CFL. Really? No way. It is? Can you imagine winning a game on a walk-off touchback? The defense literally couldn't do anything. You'd have to like stand there at the back of the end zone and create like a tower to keep the ball from going through the back of the end zone. We're going to keep on moving forward here. Focus players are week 11. Yeah, it was always a question of if they would actually scout the right players. So we're going to get the info here on Eric Moran. I want to get somebody to like a high percentage so I can see like what a perfect scouting report looks like. I'm just going to scout a kicker as well. It's going to be Ron Hillman. Week 11 to 13. Choose 3 players to focus on. This will progress the report by 30%. Now it says week 11 to 13. Are you picking 3 players each week? Because I would kind of like that. And is it actually scouting the right players is the other thing we're checking. Oh yeah, I can get some music on if people want music. Sorry. Try to put on something that's not too distracting. Yeah, that Matt, how do you say his name? Ariaza? I'll figure it out. But that punt was really nice. It was fun seeing people debate over whether that was a good punt or not. It was a touchback. It was like 62 yards a net. Ariza. Gotcha. Matt Ariza. Too bad he didn't go to a worse offense where his talents will be used more often, you know? Talk about being a bad scheme fit in Buffalo. I'm just joining. Thoughts on the base gameplay? We didn't play a ton. I like the overall like fluidity and stuff in the gameplay. There were still some weird animations that were playing out. It's still too early for me to really say much about gameplay. I want to play some head-to-head games, and that might give me a little bit better idea. So you're not given the option to like get 3 focus players each week. It just happened to say weeks 11 through 13. So we got the 95% on Eric Moran. We did get 100 here on Stevie Stallworth. And I don't know that it worked on Hillman. Now, kickers could also just be weird. I don't know. So, even like, I didn't obviously have much attention here on the kickers, but you're still given a range for their accuracies in these cases here, so you can be prepared. And then the physical will give you kick power. I think you have to be in the all category for scouting focus to work. See, that was the way it was in Madden 22. It was a weird bug. But it worked on Steve Stallworth. And I was just cycling through the positions. So here is a perfect scouting report then on Steve Stallworth. We're given all the letter grades, all of them. So you got A awareness, vision, catching, injury, kick return, medium route running, spin move. He's a playmaker archetype. And a round one talent with a round one projection. We got to 95 with Eric Moran. So this is like one step below a perfect profile. There are still a lot of ranges for ratings. It's the more secondary ratings. And also his talent isn't confirmed. So there's actually a lot in that last 5%. And you're only going to get to 100 with at most, what, like 6 players, I think, is the most you can get. So what position group at this point is the least scouted? Is 50% kind of the floor? That's the vibe I'm getting here. We're going to call it 50. So if you're not putting any effort into a position, now keep in mind, we're not even at the offseason yet, but all these ranges here. I do like this as opposed to the question marks. I think this is far more useful. I would say that's a positive change. So scouting still has some room to improve from a quality of life standpoint, but as far as like getting the information you need in the order you need it, it is better. You're getting those ratings, the important ones first, and then ranges when you don't go deep enough into a player's skill set. I'd say this scouting is much better. And again, you get those quick little hints up there. Do the ranges go away when you draft the player? We haven't gotten to a draft yet to check, but we will be doing that probably soon. We're late in the season. I do want to check out what it looks like in free agency. I really wish they allow you to add a team in Madden, a true expansion 33rd team. I think that would be so much fun. Is PS4 different from PS5? So there are some features that you won't get on a gameplay front. I want to say like the franchise features, like everything you see here will be there. I'm not 100% sure, but I think like that stuff will be there. It's just in gameplay, you wouldn't have, I think, the new passing mechanic, momentum, certain things there would be missing. Next gen stats, anything powered by that. How does fatigue look? So we simulated the season. We're in the wild card now. Let's see that player health. It really didn't go down. Now, we had half padded practice here. We had full pads, I know, for a while on defense. I think it changed things to half pads so it wouldn't be a problem. But I want to simulate a season where everything's on full pads to see what happens. There's just a lot of little things like that I have to mess around with. So that's what this week is all about for me. We're going to hop on stream. We're going to do our experimenting. We're going to ask questions, get our answers. And I've enjoyed it so far today. Let's also see some simulated stats. Let's see how that looks. Well, Herbert's stats there look pretty spot on. Joe Burrow, 5,500 yards, 50 touchdowns. I don't think I remember them going for these high touchdowns in the previous Madden. I could be wrong, but 50 seems like something I haven't really seen. Jared Goff, how about that? Is he still a bridge quarterback after that, Detroit? Baker. Lamar Jackson, 40 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Everybody wants to know, what's Lamar's simulated rushing stats? You got your answer. A career high. Now, I can already tell you there's a problem with the way they're simulating rushes. Let me go back to Lamar. Where'd he go? The way they are getting their rushing totals is weird. Because you can see here, he has a long of 12. This game simulates rushing so strange, where they are hesitant to give out longer runs. So, I mean, when you look at these totals, it's not as bad. But what if we dive into like the game log of Derrick Henry, who ran for 1,500? A long of 9, a long of 11. I suppose there are games where that could happen, but can you see Derrick Henry for 6 straight games, never running longer than 11 yards, yet reaching 100 yards 3 times? Probably not. Madden simulated rushing has been weird for a while. The totals in simulating are getting better, but they are still doing it in a weird way. Yeah, where'd Debo go? Hopefully he didn't get hurt and ruin my experiment here. 4.6 a carry. So I moved Debo Samuel to running back to see what his overall would be, and he was a 99. But he didn't put up like the best season there. Just had a good season. Yeah, appreciate the super chat. No message. 71 carry and no fumbles. Yeah, it didn't seem like there were many carries at all in the fumbles. Nobody had more than 3. Last year, Antonio Gibson had 6, and he had one over the weekend, man. He's actually going to lose carries to Brian Robinson now. The fumbles are too real. How'd the Packers split their workload? Needs to be more Dylan, but it's better than it was, that's for sure. So 1,500 is the most rushing yards here, 1,575. Receiving, 1,740. I want to say some of these totals here are higher than we usually see simmed in Madden, and some really high touchdown counts. And high reception totals too. Cooper Kupp at 126. The other thing, though, are all these players slot receivers? A lot of these guys would end up in the slot, like Tyler Boyd. Yeah, that's kind of your hint there. Is there still that wide receiver slot bias? Well, when Tyler Boyd was the leading receiver on the Bengals, it makes me think that's the case still. Playing less snaps than Jamar Chase. Maybe it's not as bad as it once was, but it's still just an unnecessary thing. Anybody in the slot can still really produce, it looks like. All the slot receivers, man. Randall Cobb went for 1,200 yards. Okay, slot is still a problem. Maybe even more so. Every slot receiver is going for 1,000 yards, basically. Show tight ends. We sort by tight end here. We got some totals. Kelsey goes for 1,266. I know Pitts went for 1,000. Yeah, 1,146. Playoff Blizzard, that still shows up all the time, huh? I want to sim to the off season now. And that's unfortunate. This is the end of season screen that we've been seeing now. You can go back and see Super Bowl history. Man, never forget that Matt Nagy was Coach of the Year. Hey, if you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's actually necessary now to chat so we can avoid the bots. And I haven't seen anybody pop up since I put that on. But subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Please drop a like on the stream. Retirements. Emmanuel Sanders, no. Harrison Smith. 9 years here for Tyler Shatley. Like the entire backup quarterback group in the league just retired after this season. Devon Kennard after 9 years. Looks like 9 is kind of the minimum. 8. Nope, Malcolm Brown. We have a new low. Can I get a 7? Might be asking a bit much. Pete Carroll retired too. All right, so I'm not really going to go through signing everybody. I just kind of want to see everything. And we've already gotten a feel for re-signing your own free agents, but I want to take this cap space and see if I can play around in the open free agency. Did the rookies who won Rookie of the Year get an award winner tag? Let's take a quick look there. Who were the rookies of the year? Jamison Williams, Kayvon Thibodeau. Let's go check. Day one starter and award winner have been correctly applied. He's not a free agent, but that is applied. Now, I don't know where they list Thibodeau at on here, but right outside linebacker. He's got the award winner tag too. Very cool. Halftime Super Sim still a thing? We didn't mess around with that at all. I think I know what you're talking about. All right, free agency now. My first time playing with this. Here's the screen. You can see player ratings in free agency. Isn't that nice? I want to sign the fastest wide receiver available. You can now sort by those ratings and see everybody there. Now, was McCole Hardman any good last year? In the past, you weren't able to actually see a player's stats in free agency, but now you can see how they've been playing with the other teams and their overall history. So I'm already liking this interface. And then you can see above my head here, the motivations, the interest they have in the team. That's also just down to this side here, it looks like. Their expected value. So that's kind of your ballpark for fair offer now. The chat's really liking the UI here for free agency. And then what they did here is they make you focus in the first round of free agency. You're only able to offer 5 contracts in stage 1. So you have to pick your most important free agents to target right off the bat. They loosen the restrictions afterwards. Elton Jenkins has like no interest in us. That's why I want to go after him, because I want to see like how it would go. This would put us over the cap. Am I blocking this? No, he has like no interest in us though. Very player friendly. I don't have the cap space, unfortunately. I want to find a player who has like no interest and then specifically offer to them. Just to see what it takes. So when you put an offer out now, let me turn off my camera. It's not giving you a point value anymore. It's just showing your strength. So we offered to Dawson Knox. We have a 4 out of 5 bar offer, it looks like. And we're the only team interested in him so far. Now, we're able to hit L3 and have the offer evaluated. Players have evaluated submitted offers. We got him. So we didn't have to simulate. We were able to offer to him and we got him right there, it looks like. And the Vikings got Austin Hooper. Herb Smith is going to Jacksonville, apparently. So once you hit L3, it looks like any offer that's been put out is evaluated. It wasn't just Knox's offer. It looks like it was all the current sent offers. I just hit it again, and I think more players just became unavailable. So there are 3 eval periods. This is the part we're going to have to get used to. So the second time there I hit that, more players were unavailable. Let me find... So here we have Tom Brady. 3 teams interested. They will not tell me who. We can't afford them. We're not going to make it happen. I might have to make some more cap space quick just to experiment. I believe these features will be on the PS4 and Xbox One. You can't quote me on that, but I think it's just gameplay stuff that won't all be there. But these features, I think, should. Yeah, I thought the eval was just for that specific offer. That's what I was interpreting it as. Okay. $24 million rollover from 22. I want to figure out when they're grabbing that number. Because in season, after I signed Raheem Mostert, I think we had $9 million in cap space. When is that number taken? I just have to find out when. Have I found any loopholes yet? None that I know of. Like big loopholes for anything like this. Probably post-draft. Could be. But we have to figure out when. I think that's going to be important to know at what point that number will roll over. So you know the cutoff. Alright. I need to save some money here. So, Khalil Mack. Hit the bricks, buddy. Joey Bosa. You're gone. No more pass rush. I'm not even freeing that much. There's so many penalties here, but I'm just creating cap space so I can play around with the new features. Keenan Allen. Sayonara. Oh yeah, and the cap space here. So I had the 2022 cap is $218 million. It is now at $243 million. And my goal there is I want to know, is it going up by a set amount every year or is it going up by a percentage? So that's a $25 million increase. Go clear cap penalties. Do they allow you to do that still in the commissioner tab or whatever? And do players ask for more money as cap goes up? That's the other thing you have to see. And I don't think they rise as much as they should. Now the salary cap has been changing. This isn't new. It's just trying to get a gauge of how much it goes up every year. And if players aren't asking for more money as the cap goes up, that's a flaw. Oh, it's in members? Cool. Offer everybody player-friendly deals. I bet you get them all no matter the interest. That's the kind of science we need to do. One more eval period this week. I need to offer... It's still showing me players who aren't even available anymore. Alright, I'm going to offer to Tony Pollard. I'm going to offer him a very player-friendly offer. He has, like, the lowest interest you can have. And then I want to offer to Jarvis Landry basically the same thing because his is very low. And then... yeah, that's close enough. Let's do a very player-friendly, just to keep it uniform here for Maurice Hurst. And let's go Devin Bush. So we're like offering really player-friendly deals to players who have no interest in us. But is this going to be something that's like automatic and we're going to get them? So those are all the offers I have out. Let's I have no idea how evals work with multiple users, because a commissioner would have to hit the evaluate button or something. That sounds like a really tricky situation for online. Landry and Pollard did not take the offers. Bush and Hurst did. So I was basically overpaying, offering to overpay for 4 players there, and 2 of them said no, at least in that stage. So far, I really do like the free agency changes they've made. It might be one of the areas this has gotten like the most improved. So far, so good there. So this is stage 2. The other thing I forgot to check, trades at the deadline. I'm guessing it's the still like, why did you do that kind of trade? We had Andre Roberts here retire after 13 years. Oh, Bears signed Joey Bosa to a monster contract. 1 second. Are you good? Are you good? I think my dog was having a bad dream or something. I want to see the trades. I don't see them. Oh, that's something that's an option here. Is this brand new? Undo sign. No, the Bears do not get Joey Bosa because that didn't make sense. That's kind of a cool feature to save the CPU from themselves. So if like, let's say in your series, the Chargers have Justin Herbert and then they just sign like 58-year-old Tom Brady. Undo it. Try again, Brady. Oh. I offered that. I was about to say, why did Jarvis Landry get that? You know what I'm going to do? Sorry, I didn't mean that. I want my money back. Every contract in Madden 23 comes with a money back guarantee. Can't beat that deal. And now let's see him back on the market. There he is. Interesting. This is going to help when a team has 280 overall halfbacks and they sign another one. Exactly. If the CPU does something and you're like, you shouldn't have done that, you're a better team if you don't do it. You know, that's the kind of thing. Every offseason, I'll be like, okay, if it doesn't make sense, if you can't give a reason why, we're just not going to let you do that. Can you do it in the draft? Probably not. Probably not. We still have to get to the draft. So you're able to offer to 10 players now in stage 2, and it still has 3 eval periods. So let's move forward. Before I hit L3, there were 0 teams interested in Jarvis Landry. Now there is 1 team. So it's almost like now there are 9 stages of free agency, because there are 3 eval periods where things are happening in those stages. Joey Bosa is still available. Let's see if he gets signed now. Yep, he's back on the Bears. They must like him. They signed him twice. Now, it would be nice if they let you filter out players who were, like, not available anymore. Like, you can sort by status. Actually, that's a pretty decent solution for that. Brady to the Raiders. Baker to the Giants. Can I see what he got? Yeah, above my head there. So Baker got 3 years, 51 million, 23.5 bonus. And then from here, we could also just, what's that cap number going to be for Baker Mayfield? We just have to go, there. 26.1. R1 to see available? Oh. Yeah, I wasn't even paying attention to that spot. So it is there. Everybody who was a free agent, anybody who's available, your targets, your signings, and everybody who has signed, with the available players now taken out. It's always interesting here when they sign like Clayton Thorson at 49 overall. It's like, what made them like Clayton Thorson more than Easton Stick? That's the kind of question I ask myself at night. But I do like that it's not as simple as like, what's the highest overall player? We like Mekhi Sargent, okay? Let us be. Oh, incentivized contracts? Yeah, we're a few stages away from Madden having that. That's for sure. Incentives work out really interestingly because, say you offer a player in real life an incentive, like 1,000 yards, and they've already done that before. That would be considered a likely to be earned incentive. And if you offer them, say, $2 million as a bonus there, I believe that would be a $2 million cap charge to the current season because it's likely to be earned. So whether he earns that or not, I believe it applies to that year's cap. But if, say, a player is trying to earn an incentive that they've never done before, it would be a not likely to be earned incentive. And if they do reach it, I want to say that applies to the following year's cap. So incentives are not a way of skirting around the salary cap. You're either going to pay up front to the next year. That's kind of how it works. Does that change as they get older? What's considered likely? I think on a player-by-player basis, it's looking at if they've done that before. So if you're asking them to hit an incentive they've reached, I'm not sure if there's a cutoff. Like, if you're asking Julio Jones to go for 1,000 yards when he hasn't in a couple years, I don't know if that's a likely to be earned incentive anymore. That's more, you gotta ask Swami that one. He's the cap guru. So, one more thing I'm noticing here. Keenan Allen is an 89 overall. So, that puts him at the 16th ranked receiver. Does this feel like a 16th ranked receiver contract? Maybe they are asking for more money. Or maybe the Bears just offered so much because he wasn't that interested. And that's what it took. They had to overpay. Let's check out other receivers. Calvin Ridley went to the Vikings. Looks like he got a similar contract at 28 years old, 21st quarterback. It's a step lower based on his overall. That's still pretty big money. Now, I want to find a receiver. Juju to the Bears. they were actually a motivation fit. That's more of a discount. Okay. So CPU teams, when it comes to, they'll sign players that aren't that interested. They're just going to pay for it. What did McColl get here at 82 overall? I'd say in Madden 22 and prior, this is like a $10 million contract per year. Yeah, it's a little bit more than that now. And that was a low motivation deal. So I'm betting Russell Gage might be 10 or even 9. Even lower. There was a lot of interest there. So he took a more team-friendly deal. Are they all 3-year deals? They seem to be. No, Calvin got a 4. Odell got a 4. But you're not seeing like those 1-year prove-it deals. 2 years for KJ. Lower overall is going to be less years. Higher overall is more years. But you're not going to see like a random 1-year deal here for the highest rated receiver, it appears. And those deals, that wouldn't be what you expect, but you just kind of are wondering if it's possible. And age is factored in. Brady signed a 1 year. Baker signed a 3. Teddy signed a 2. Daniel Jones got a 3. Yeah, 5 years for a running back. On a second contract, never in a million years. Unless there was like no guaranteed money. That is a pretty good bargain though. But it's a ridiculous contract. Yeah, the Giants keeping Danny but also getting Baker Mayfield, that's a weird one. That's one where you maybe go into the transaction log and take away Daniel Jones. So we know Bosa got paid big money. Looks like Mac got like $35 million over 2 years. Levante David, 2 years in the $12 million range. Yeah, there's some pretty healthy contracts out there. And also, I know I put Bosa and Mac into the market and Allen, but the best free agents to become available were Brady, Levante David, Josh Allen. That's an interesting one. Elton Jenkins, Calvin Ridley. So a somewhat interesting free agent pool. Some really good options. You want to see if by year 2, year 3, you're still getting that to happen. If you undo a signing, does that keep the CPU from offering a contract again? We confirm that's not the case because we undid the signing of Joey Bosa and they just did it again. So that could be a problem if like they just keep doing it and you have to keep hitting the undo button. That's the only one I tried to undo. Let me undo some more and see if it happens all over again. We're going to undo the Bosa. I want to find higher rated players so I don't have to scroll as much. Juju to the Bears. Off the board. Tony Pollard. Well, I guess I signed him. I don't know why I'm even... That's not a good data point. And we're going to undo the Tom Brady. Yep, no retired numbers, unfortunately. So you might see your favorite teams' retired numbers out there in the wild if you don't make a move. All right, we're going to do the eval period stuff again. Bosa went back to the Bears. Does Brady go back to the Raiders? Well, now no one's interested. No one likes Brady anymore. And Juju went back to the Bears. So that's a feature that's going to need some changes. Like, it's cool, it's there, but it's clear like they're just going to re-sign them all over again. All right, let's go to the NFL draft. Can you undo the signings after the free agent period? See, that could be the workaround. Can I do it now? And the answer should be yes. Wait, those players were signed during the free agency recap. Can I undo stuff from stage 3? Yes. Can I undo stuff from stage 2 or earlier? Yeah. So, where's Deshaun Kaiser? I just saw him there. I feel like he's already been out of the league for a while. Where's Deshaun Kaiser? We'll just check out the draft here quick. And then I'll probably be calling it a stream here pretty soon. But I've really enjoyed this, everybody. It's been fun. Kaiser was with the Titans last year in the offseason. Otherwise, though, he's been out of the league since 2020. All right, so far this looks the exact same. I didn't do like the focus players and stuff in the offseason. I didn't really do any offseason scouting work. But I imagine it's about what you expect from last year. Free agency was the new stuff to take a look at. So we're just going to take a player here. It is nice having those little 4 ratings there on the right. We're going to take a running back here. Denario Singleton. We only had 50% on him. Ran a 4.37. What more do you need? 4.32 with the pro day. Only good speed, though. That's so weird. Because, like, we know from last year, it's on the left. That's what matters. Not the fact that he ran 4.37, 4.32. His speed is really only 3rd best tier, which kind of makes these numbers just for show. We're going to take him. 92 speed. Hidden development. Wow. Hidden development running back, first pick of the year. That's pretty good. It still shows the ranges here. Can you undo the pick? I doubt it, but I will check. He hasn't been signed. This stuff doesn't go to the transaction log until the draft is over. It's not an option. I think they fixed that blinding light glitch. Yeah, they fixed that eventually. Hopefully it hasn't returned. I saw a couple A grades in there. Ooh, 2 for 2. Red hot to start the year. Two hidden dev players. All right, get me to the end of the draft. I don't want to ruin my perfect streak right now. We'll be doing more drafting and more testing there, but I am getting ready to wrap up the stream here. It's been fun to just get into franchise and check out the improvements to scouting, the improvements to free agency. I'm really just trying to get more of the minute details here to see how much better it's really gotten. But so far, scouting, much better. Free agency, big improvement, I'd say. I like what I see there. But the real test is going to be like, all right, years 2, years 3, and 4. There's more to find out there. Like, are great players hitting free agency, or does the cap become too easy to manage because they're not asking for more money? How are player tags handled for rookies and stuff like that? So there's more to come. I will be streaming again probably tomorrow. There's a chance I stream again later tonight, but don't count on it. But yeah, this draft stuff, this is all kind of the same. And then, you know, hidden development, player 500 snaps, but now you're given all the ratings. There's no fog of war here. Similar, same as last year, but we do have day 1 starter here on Singleton. Now, it's more important for CPU teams, and we should take a quick look at quarterbacks when they go. Seattle. What video's coming out after the stream? I need to get a Sydney video up. A Sydney Jean-Charles video on the 2nd channel. Quarterback number 2 went at 18 to the Lions. 2 for 2, Madden. Green Bay, last pick of the 1st round. Now, with Rodgers' age, I can understand it, but you do have Jordan Love. So how does that factor in? I'm not going to knock them for that one just because of Rodgers' age, and it's a late 1st rounder. Seattle took 2. No, that's round 1. Sorry, my bad. They took a safety next. 4th quarterback. The Cardinals. See, that's too early. I think that's too early for them to be considering it. It is late 2nd round, but still. That's interesting. So oftentimes the 3rd round is where the run on quarterbacks goes. The ones that don't go early. And none went here in the 3rd round. We do have 1 to New Orleans in the 4th. Broncos take 1. Anybody here is fair game. So I think that's pretty good. And also, I have no idea if Rodgers retired or anything, so what their situation could be right now. I didn't see him retire. But I do want to check now, like, I don't think he had any of the tags, right? They took a 1st round quarterback, but no player tag. So Love is gone. That was them replacing Jordan Love and doing that over again. So I can understand that with Love off the roster. But I think him being 62 overall prohibited him from having the tag. That's, again, the type of thing we're checking on. Is there a rating cutoff? So it's not penciling in everybody there as like a future starter. He gets a boost. He gets an edge on the depth chart. If he's not high rated enough, he's not getting it. They're kind of calling him a bust out of the gate, but it makes more sense than just forcing it in. Moran gets his quarterback of the future in day 1 starter. The Cardinals quarterback they took No tag for him. The Lions took one. And he is their third quarterback, but also considered to be a quarterback of the future and future starter. He has hidden development. Hey Kane, first discovered you by watching a Nodus fan video on Machinima, which felt like a decade ago, because it has been. Been a big fan ever since. Appreciate it, Matt. And appreciate it, Nodus fan. Also, Matt. I don't want to simulate past this screen yet. I might check this out later in the next stream, but just going through tags for everybody that was taken. Oh, does it not show everybody's tag on this menu like this? I'd have to click individually. I'm pretty sure anybody who's like a hidden dev rookie is going to get that. How about the lineman I took? 63 overall hidden. This is the true test. Does my guy, Carl Leonard, have a tag? With his 78 strength and 65 run block. No tag. He has hidden dev. I'm not sure what I was expecting there. But, yeah, 63 overall. I don't think you can say he's a guaranteed starter or anything. He's got hidden dev. That's the only bonus he's getting. Oh, yeah, the 99 overall traits. That's right. 74. Nope. 76 was the highest rated in the whole class. 99 speed to the Raiders. Right on brand. Taking Spencer Terrell. Dangerous speed. He gets the future starter. Okay. 66. What was the tackle that we had? Because maybe we're finding the cutoff. 63. Somewhere between 63 and 66 could be the cutoff for the future starter tag. .95 acceleration is the highest, 96 agility, 94 strength, 89 carrying, 84 ball carrier vision for a corner, 96 change of direction, 95 juke, putting him above the class, 86 spin, 86 stiff arm, 82 break tackle, 84 truck, 85 catching for a tight end, 85 catch in traffic, 87 spec catch. So there are some pretty solid highs here. 87 route running to stand out, 79 medium, 82 deep. Yeah, I like what I'm seeing so far. 86 short accuracy, 84 medium, 80 deep. More ratings to go yet. 88 on the run. Only 78 for throw under pressure. Play action stands out, but does play action matter? This game has a lot of ratings. You ever notice that? 82 pass block finesse. Not seeing a lot of separation in the offensive line ratings. Those are more clustered for sure. .86 tackling is the highest. 87 hit power. Terry Tate, office linebacker, is in the game? I didn't know he was making an appearance. I think he's packed on a few pounds, though, playing D tackle. If you've never seen the videos, just look him up. $77 man, 80 zone. The deep route running was by a corner? Ooh, I have to take a look. Good call. We have to do better than 48 kick accuracy. Where are the kickers at? Oh, I guess no kickers got drafted is the thing they're saying there. So deep route running was a corner. Joe Murphy. Maybe there was a story for him somewhere, but we're looking at a 67 overall corner who doesn't have anything standing out in his defensive back skill set. Let's try him at receiver. If you can draft a player and there's like a small chance he's good at another position, that is like really cool. Yeah, I mean, 64 overall receiver, but do you want to develop him as a defensive back with no real strength, or a receiver with deep route running but only 62 catching? This feels like a blackjack player from his class. 100%. Yeah, the release is awful, the catching is awful. He can run routes. Do you keep him at DB? You probably keep him at DB, to be honest. Otherwise, I mean, you can run him vertical. He might catch it. Almost like Marquand Clifford. Absolutely. And he has a high dev trait. They just made Marquand Clifford, essentially. I think Clifford was even better at the other route runnings, though. But still, this is pretty close. It's very cool this is possible. And there's probably more situations like that. It's just, did we see them? And when else would you ever see his deep route running? You could have drafted him and totally missed that. Unless you're sorting ratings and really putting a magnifying glass on that stuff, you could draft him and never know that. Yeah, let's just unlock. Let's find out his dev trait right away. If he's an X factor, like he's a true unique talent you could find. What was his name again? Joe Murphy. Superstar. So could he get there with Superstar? It's possible. You guys wanted to see Terrell's? Well, let me get back in the draft recap menu quick. I wanted to see like one more thing, because I think I can find that future starter cutoff in a second. Spencer Terrell, 66 overall. Superstar. No, the CPU won't change their positions like that. You'd have to do it for them. So I've been looking at this future starter option a lot. This tag showing up here for Braden Gardner, a running back. It keeps resetting this when I back out, though. I was trying to see like where the cutoff is, because there was a first round player who was a 62 overall, but didn't get that tag to give him special playing time treatment. So I think the cutoff is somewhere around 66 or 65. I don't think every 66 overall player is going to have that. So I'm not even sure if this is the right way to even check it. It's not important. It was probably... You'd have to keep seeing players drafted high, I think. If we can find a 65 in the first round, and there is... Oh, it was him. So that tells you right there, 65... Is that the cutoff then? Is it 66 and above? Where is the next player at 65? Hunter Russell, who is a normal dev player, doesn't have the tag. Can we find a similarly drafted player at 66 now? Maybe in the second round. Well, first of all, are all these 67s going to be future starter? No. So I don't think it's that simple. It might be on a position by position basis. It might factor in the development more. Because like Terrell was a hidden player. 69 normal has the future starter at corner. I can sort it by overall, but every time I check, it's still going to do that. To reset my screen. But just consider it to be in the 60s somewhere. Third round safety 66. Doesn't have it. Yeah, I wish it didn't reset. That was a fun stream. I'm gonna have to call it there, but I appreciate everybody coming to hang out. Thank you for the support, and I will be doing more streams like this. And I am looking forward to hopefully getting a new franchise on the channel here very soon. And a new member here at the very, very end. Appreciate that. Got some new members in this stream. Thank you for that support. I will either be back to stream later today or tomorrow. Count on tomorrow. And, you know, this week's going to be different because it's Madden week. So I won't be doing as much with the Rockies or any of my other series. I'm going to be doing as much Madden as I can. And live streaming is probably going to be a big part of this week. So I hope you enjoy it. But that is going to do it for me, everybody. Day one here on Madden 23 in the books. There are definitely some positives in franchise mode. I was impressed with the free agency the most. But that's going to do it for me today, everybody. Take care. Enjoy the game, hopefully, if you're playing as well. And I will see you all in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.